What's up guys? Today in this video we're going to be touching on a subject that I kind of started but really didn't do much with, and that is LS swapping my SN95 New Edge Mustang, which over there in the parking lot. So I started this series back in last fall. I disassembled the engine and I recently just started putting it back together. I told a handful of people what the game plan is and to do a carbureted setup on this iron block 5.3, and I got a little bit of criticism over it, so I wanted to address my top reasons why I'm going this route. I know it's not the conventional way, I know it's not the most popular, but there are reasons why I'm preferring it. So the reason why when it comes to doing a carbureted V8 I'm going with the LS versus like small block Ford or small block Chevy is because with the LS or the Gen 3 small blocks, there's just so much aftermarket support when it comes to doing swaps into pretty much any chassis, right? Like you've got companies like ICT Billet that make accessory drive pulleys. The most amount of aftermarket support when it comes to like headers and oil pans and motor mounts. When it comes to just swapping these into pretty much anything, the aftermarket support is there. So if you're doing an LS swap on your vehicle and for some reason there's not a direct swap kit, you can either mix and match parts and usually get it to work because, like I said, the aftermarket support is just insane on these. Reason number two why I'm going with this setup in particular has to do more with why the heck I even did a carbureted setup to begin with, and that is because this vehicle is going to be a dedicated track vehicle. It will not see any type of road time, so like luxury features and things like that I just don't need. So when it comes to getting a carbureted engine to run, you literally just plug in 12 volts to the MSD box, your grounds, and then your signal wire for the starter, and as long as you have sufficient fuel, you should be running. There's just fewer sensors and wires to worry about. I mean, yes, you'll still have your crank and your cam sensor on a carbureted system, but as long as the MSD box turns out to be pretty reliable, the engine should just do what I need it to do. Now, for whatever reason, if the carbureted system doesn't work out, the MSD box fails or, whatever, I can still go back to EFI. So it's not a permanent setup, although I would like it to be permanent, like I'm in it for the long term. If it doesn't work out, we can switch it. So it's not the end of the world. Reason number three why I'm going with a carbureted LS over pretty much any other engine is because I care about weight distribution. Yes, this is an iron block 5.3, but in the future I do plan to swap it out to an aluminum block like what is in this Trailblazer here. This is a Gen 4 5.3 aluminum block that may end up into this mix. See, I feel like that's one thing a lot of people don't pay attention to is that with a carbureted LS, you can essentially have an aluminum block, aluminum heads, and a good flowing performance engine. That's something that a Gen 1 small block or a 302 swap, the Coyote 5.0, I think that one is aluminum block, but then you kind of lose the simplicity. And that's why I just feel like a carbureted LS is the best balance between a reliable, easy to make power with, simplistic, and lightweight power plant for any type of road racing or a type of vehicle where weight is important. At the end of the day, I just don't have the time to play mechanic either when it comes to an EFI setup. Between trying to take care of my family and run my business, this is just kind of a hobby. Like if this was like my full-time job or if I was a mechanic or I did LS swaps, sure I would tinker more with the EFI system, but that's just not the case. Now I'm not saying the carbureted system is the best for everybody, but for my particular situation, that's why I feel like it works well for me. But we will see what happens in the future. Like I said, if we have to convert back to EFI, so be it. But you're welcome to tag along in the journey if you made it this far in the video. Please consider subscribing, leave a comment down below, your pros and cons to EFI versus carb, whichever is your preference. But until the next one, guys, peace.